What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is A2D Wednesday nights, talking Eagles, talking Sixers, and doing some push-ups in the driveway. Right? Let's go.
I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by our doc. Make them yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, located in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. The doc's the best. Joins us Sundays when he can. Nobody better. Go check him out. Good to have you all tonight. You got Luke Brown, Mikey Buckets, Greg Milakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, we're here. We're here. 11-2 football team with drama. We're right where we want to be. But we got a lot to go after. Phillies Hot Stove. Okay, a little stovey. Annalise is loaded. Is it? We're going to talk about it. I think it's loaded. Or the Sixers back. Oh, we all watched it, man. Look at us. Look at us all. I thought everybody's head popped up a little bit. Yeah, we're back. We'll talk about it. Eagles Steelers preview, players of the game, predictions, all that fun stuff. And we'll also hit you with all the drama, too. I mean, obviously, we have to talk about it and give our opinions on everything, and we will. And I'm going to help a lot of people out that have a lot of posters up around the room of one guy on a football team and a lot of dried up socks. You understand? I'm going to have a conversation to those kittens tonight. Everybody with a couple dried up socks under your bed, having a little fun with your posters, your magazines, with certain freaking grown men's faces on it of a football team, and you're one-dimensional. You're a one-dimensional fan. We're going to talk to you tonight. Why? I don't know if everybody else is going to talk to you, but I'm going to go after these a little bit. Poll question. A.J. Brown will score 2 touchdowns on Sunday. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everybody get your podcasts. We're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow. Join the conversation, family. Let's talk about it. Well, Chuck says disagree. He's going to get 3. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
2+.
I'll tell you one thing. They're going to feed them. I mean, there ain't no question about that. I mean, Jalen might just put his eyeballs right on him the whole game. He might never leave.
They're already on him. He just doesn't pull the trigger.
Well, listen, I mean, do you guys want to do the poll or you guys want to get in? Just get into it.
I had a feeling it was going to go hand in hand.
You just want to dive? Because I'll just dive. Right?
Dive. Yeah, dive.
This isn't hard. We act like he said something crazy, something disrespectful. When the question was asked, he said our passing game. They threw for 120 yards. They averaged 5 yards of completion. Hey, Captain Obvious, he's not lying. That doesn't make him a bad teammate. He answered the question truthfully, which this city begs for everybody. And somebody tells you the truth, and you're offended because you got the posters, you got the socks all dried up, and you'll never sleep with your girl because you're using it all on a poster. They're the people. They're the people I'm talking about. If you don't think if you think to yourself, well, he played well on Sunday, you're an idiot. You're a moron, and you're a one-dimensional fan. You're a fanboy. It's simple as that. It ain't a shot. That's a fact. Goodness gracious, I've been in this city for too goddamn long for guys to just get passes. For whatever reasons, when other guys in this city were way better, he got smoked. Keep it 100. When he plays great, he plays great. You don't got to go run around. I told you. I told you. It doesn't have to be about that. Man, I'm tired of it. He didn't say anything wrong. All right? And they got to throw the ball better. And he's got to pull the trigger. And he's got to see the goddamn field. He's been in problems for a while here. This is why Tom Arnone, a third person myself, Tom Arnone said, 27 weeks ago, essentially 9 going on 10. If you limit the attempt to become a run-first team and let him be a playmaker and use his legs, you'll win a lot of football games. I'm not smarter than anybody. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Only the loudest when I talk sports. That's it. Simple as that. So if you watch Dillon play and you think he goes through all his progressions and you think he's an elite passer from the pocket and sees the field well, then I can't help you. That doesn't mean he doesn't see the field well at times too. It doesn't mean he doesn't. It means a lot of times he doesn't too. And that's why his legs come into play. And that's where Saquon and his offensive line come into play. It's not his arm strength, it's his anticipation. It's timing and rhythm, just like a hitter. If you're not on time and you don't have rhythm, just go have a seat, please. Because you're done. At the quarterback position, if you don't have anticipation and you don't have those things, then you gotta keep trying to do better. And I'm sure he works at it. Nobody's questioning that. And he's a winner. He finds ways to win games. He makes big plays when you need him to. Nobody's denying that. I talked about it on Sunday. But man, you know what I mean? Just call it how we see it. He didn't play well on Sunday. He hasn't played well in a few weeks, essentially, besides not turning the football over. And that's a great start to playing better. And his passer rating will tell you he did. But good, damn it. You got eyeballs? That's it. And agree to the poll. They'll feed him on Sunday. I don't get too long. I'm exhausted. I'm out of my mind.
No, but you're absolutely right, though, Tommy. Right? Like he didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything directed at him. He said the entire whole situation around the passing game needs to improve. And as you mentioned, if you have eyeballs, the last 3-4 weeks, that is absolute fact. And in the regular season, and even in the playoffs, right? Because as you mentioned, they've won. And Jalen has won a lot in this league, and that is something to go for and say, right? He finds ways to win because he, as you like to say, and it is absolutely true, he's a playmaker at the end of the day, right? So he's gonna find ways to win, or he's gonna find ways to make big plays. We've talked about it all year, right? He, in the fourth quarter, in money times, he will come through with a monster drive for us, right? He has most of the time this year. And a lot of that is going to be on him, whether it's a big run or he does make a big pass, right? We're not going to sit here and say that I thought he played really well against the Rams. But since then, he hasn't played very well. But I absolutely agree to poll. I might be in Chuck's range as well. I should have put 2+ on the poll question because you're absolutely right. They're going to feed him. And regardless of who's doing the videos, right, of showing where the mistakes are made, one thing we do know is A.J. Brown is always open, right? It's his Twitter handle for a reason. It shows up in those tapes and those demonstrations that have been done all week. He is always open. We just got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, so another thing I'll say, the best player in sports isn't always your leader, but I feel like the quarterback, especially that position, should be your leader. And as far as like sitting on the sidelines, he's lucky that he wins. Like he wins, so there's not much you can say about him. Every single year they win. But on the sideline, it'll be a close game. He just sits there with his jacket on and he looks disinterested. He's always staring into space and he just looks disinterested. But he wins, so there's nothing you can say. And he's the dryer sheet in the press conferences. He's coming up with dumb quotes, barely having any emotion in his voice. He's really an unlikable guy, but he wins. So there's nothing you could say about it. And the second thing I would say with this A.J. Brown stuff, I think Brandon Graham knew what he was doing, going out and saying this stuff on the radio, because this is exactly what happened last year, and it crumbled. And I think he just put it out there now so that they would be forced to fix it. Just be forced to fix the problem instead of keeping it under the radar, because that's what we did last year. It was in-house. Nobody really knew what was going on, and everything shattered. But now it's out in the air. So now they have no choice but if there's a problem, to fix it.
Yep, not a team you want to be playing on a week you're not prepared. That's all. No. We'll get into that later. Go ahead, Luke.
But real quick, Luke,
Mike,
to that
you're
point,
right,
though,
too.
Mike, he came back real quick to retract it, right? And so I think you might be onto something, that it was a planned kind of plant, because he was real. I mean, it wasn't even an hour after the show, and he's like, "Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. Should have kept that in house."
Not what I meant. It's not what I meant. It's never what you mean, right? And you say something. No, it's not what I meant. Yeah, you took it out of context.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. I think he's been here long enough to know that whatever's going on inside of the locker room, what can happen outside of here can be just as damaging. He's been front head of that, and he saw it last year happen. So I don't think he did that on purpose to do that. I think the easiest way to do that, as a leader of the team, is get up in front of both of them and say, you two need to work this out. I'm not even playing anymore. My job on the team is to basically be the captain and make you have this conversation. So I think that could happen in-house too. And you could tell because he said, I don't really know what the hell's going on. So he clearly did not, before he said all he said, I don't know what's going on. So clearly he you know what I mean? That never happened. No conversation ever happened in-house. So I kind of just disagree with that. But
so he just started talking then.
Yeah, I think he messed up.
Real quick, before you finish, like this isn't that serious. Like you saw them on the sidelines together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I was about to go.
Not you, right? Like we saw them on the sidelines. I don't think this is some divide between Jalen and AJ. I forgot to say this, but he's the godfather of AJ's daughter. So this isn't two guys. This is two guys that are close, man. Like when you got a guy that's like a brother to you, you go at it sometimes, man. And when you're playing at the level these two are playing at, holy shit, there ain't nothing that's going to divide those two besides this city.
Exactly.
Clip that shit.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Because we ain't in it for clicks and likes and all the shit. Doing for a decade, and I ain't in it for that stuff. Never been in it for it. God, sorry, Luke.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I don't think it's a big deal at all. Like, at all. I think it's being totally overplayed. Actually, to be honest with you, if anything, I'm kind of happy we're having this conversation right now. Last time we did have this conversation was a few years ago, and even last year, I know last year sucked. The best part of last year was like that Miami game stretch with the Kelly Green jerseys. AJ was on a tear. He was unhappy. They didn't like each other. That was the best we played all season. It wasn't even close. Now, I think this is really just a combination of people just not being smart and people needing to be smarter. I think AJ needs to be smarter by not saying one word and not knowing that, hey, the attention is obviously going to go directly on your quarterback. That's not the smartest thing to do. You have to be smarter. Jalen, you have to be smarter because there's times where he is wide open and you need to be smarter with the football. I think Nick Sirianni might need to be smarter. How does this even get out at all when you don't call plays, you don't do anything? It seems this is your job. This can't get out. And Brandon Graham, you need to be smarter. You're my second favorite Eagle probably of all time. You can't do that. You should know better than that. That will divide those two guys so quickly. You can't do that. So I just think it's a combination of people needing to be smarter. Such a minute problem. We're talking about a guy who we are undefeated with when he plays. And people are acting like he's going to request the trade, and we're not 11-2. Like,
he's some diva.
Slow down. Yeah, like now I do think there's legit concern into. I think coaching deserves a lot of this because we saw it last year where Jalen would let it fly to guys like Zacchaeus and give them one-on-ones or whatever. Now it kind of seems like, and I hear people talk about on TV on the right, we can win these games by just saying if we don't turn the ball over and we run for 150 yards every game, our defense is good enough, we will survive these games. You won't survive the NFC title games. You need to get better there. But for right now, we don't need to force those 20-yard bombs. We don't need to give Jahan Dotson. He was wide open in the end zone. We don't need that. I'll rush for 7 yards instead. That's a little concerning because it's clear that he's tucking the ball a lot more than he used to.
You saying right now is the key word, right now, because in the playoffs, if they go down 14-0, you can't hide behind the run. You're gonna have to pass the ball and move.
Right, which is why let's be happy we're having this conversation now at 11-2. You still have a quarter or so of the season left to fix it.
Yeah, let's not act like
this is not a big deal.
Let's not act like we can't throw the football at all either. Right? Like let's be clear. Like let's not act like we can't throw the football too. Or we haven't been able to throw the football ever, right? Like we know we have the players on the outside to be able to throw the football, right? And we've seen Jalen be able to throw the football, right? And be in rhythm. We've seen those weeks. But the one thing I'll disagree with, Luke, a little bit is I can win an NFC title game if I rush for over 200 and I throw for 120 yards.
Oh, I'm with you.
But and that's my whole thing.
You still just want to see it, though, to be like, all right, if we get in a shoot, I'm with you, though. I think this team could definitely win a Super Bowl like that. But I still, you're paying A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get in a shootout.
You got to involve them. You have to.
No, of course. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get in a shootout. I'll ask Devontae and AJ something right now. Would you guys rather have the ring or the numbers?
Right.
I get your ring.
I think that's
an equation. I have the answer.
I think it's an unfair question to ask. I don't think they're asking for Jalen to attempt more throws in a game. I think what they're asking is, you can throw the ball 20 times. You need to take advantage of every throw. There's no tucking it and like you see a lane versus me being open 15 yards down the field. No, throw. I want the ball. There were many times like that. That's what he's talking about. And that's probably the conversations they're having.
And here's the problem, too. You can't throw the ball away with all these run-pass options. Now with this illegal man downfield stuff that's been so overblown, I feel like this year.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a play where he slid in that Panthers game, and I was going nuts, and I realized, I'm like, why didn't you just throw the ball away? I'm like, because it would have been a flag. It's an RPO, so these offensive linemen, it's hard. It's tough. So, like, you have to throw the ball. Like, you can't throw it away. You can't slide for a 10-yard loss. Get rid of it. If it's a run-pass option and the run's not there, you better get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our attempts, we haven't thrown the ball well over the last couple of weeks. That's all. That's all this question is. It's not that serious. Like, it's not like we can't throw the football.
Absolutely agree there.
I'll keep saying
being blown out.
Yeah, I'm not crowning Jalen as the best pocket passer of all time. I'm saying it's not like we can't throw the football. We're making it like, you know what I mean? We're like, give me the worst Big Ten school back in the day. You know what I mean? When it was the Big Ten. Not
true Big Ten.
Huh?
The true Big Ten.
Yeah, true Big Ten. What was the worst school? Give me like the worst school. You
Purdue's always been terrible except for Drew Brees.
Yeah, don't give me Purdue, dude. When you got like a Hall of Famer that came from there, like calm down. Give me
Illinois. Northwestern.
Northwestern is who I was thinking about. It's like
Northwestern.
This ain't Northwestern, dude. Like everybody. Sorry, I took so long, people. You know what I mean? But let's be clear here. We can't throw the football.
Yeah.
So we haven't had to.
Yeah.
Like all year. There's a reason we're 11-2. But
to be honest,
last thing, you can't average 5 yards in the 10. That's the problem.
Okay.
You can't average 5 yards in the 10.
This is an interesting quote from Jalen's presser. This is like kind of speaking to everything we're saying right now, talking about the yardage per attempt and everything.
What are you talking about, Bill? What the fuck are you on, Bill?
What did he say?
Sorry. I want to swig the apple juice on Bill right there.
Jalen said that's something people are going to have to accept. It's going to look the way Jalen Hurts wants it to look, but he's going to win. That's coming out of his mouth.
So he talked to the third person?
Damn, he did what I did.
Yeah, and he wins. He wins. And I think Tom hit it on the head. We haven't had to. And as fans, you're going to be perfectionists. What is missing?
Yeah,
well, we haven't had to. So when it's time to do so in the playoffs, I think that's why people are. But you can't be scared of what's not in front of you yet. So that's why we should just squash the whole thing. I mean, if you continue to win, just keep the train rolling.
Brian, would you knock it off? I love you, and the super chat's amazing, and we can't thank you enough. And I ain't trying to run you out of here. I'm trying to tell you, like sometimes stop it. Just seen us run for 200 yards and held team to 16 points. I've also seen us run for 200 yards and score 30. So don't just start assuming.
We forget about the Rams game.
It was 2 weeks ago. Are we okay? Like, I mean, we just watched it. Now you can't. You're on this team. Like, come on. Like, and first and second off, we can't expect our defense to do every week because they have. Yeah. like at some point, right? At some point, baby, they have. What are you trying to get at? They've done it. They've done it for 9 goddamn weeks. Who else would you like their asses to shut down? Who else would you like, Brad? All right. Who else would you like to come into town or go on the road against and absolutely dominate them? Absolutely being faces, shut shit down. Who else would you like to go to sell you that this is like 2000 Ravens type shit? Like, this is shut down city. Went out.
Yeah.
Night.
I mean, if the Rams and Ravens don't sell you on this defense, I don't know what's going to.
You see, would you watch the Bills
game? In back-to-back weeks, right?
Watch the Bills game?
Away.
Yeah.
They were away games. Right? Like when you go on the road, defense does what?
Defense
I have a
travels.
If your defense
question for the
travels, you're in
panel.
great shape.
How did you guys feel when we punted the ball and didn't go for it or kick a 56-yard field goal, which is a bomb, and Elliott has
I
not
loved
been kicking
it.
well.
I loved
You
it.
like the punt?
That was the smartest thing. Yes, I
Yeah,
loved it.
because it
Even
gave me
in the moment.
Seahawks vibes, and obviously hindsight's 2020. But Leggett knows how to catch a football. We lose that game.
Well, if he's not
Well, yeah,
eating
but you're
raccoons-
also playing with a new defense
if
too.
he's not eating raccoons.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: if he missed
Or
the
Falcons
first
game, I should say.
if he missed the first 50-yarder close, then you go kick it. When he hit a guy in the 20th row up the right side, right, like the right side of the aisle, walking up to get another beer, he hit him in the back of the goddamn head. You don't kick the second one, like Luke said. You just don't kick the second one.
Plus, like your defense, as much as you trust your offense, your defense honestly has been much more dominant, especially recently. If I have a chance to put the game on the line, I'd rather be in their hands.
Yeah, and it's tough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You had 3 timeouts. You had a 2-minute warning, and with the worst case scenario, you go for it and don't get it, or you kick it and miss it. They get the ball in good field position, but if they do score, you'll have plenty of time compared to if they scored right there, you would have 30 seconds.
Yeah, Leggett catches
It's like-
that. It's still 45 seconds
Yeah, and Greg, if you want
to get a field goal. Right. Oh,
Yeah,
there
if
we go.
you're
Yeah.
spot on, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are, oh my God. You didn't kick the one or you missed the one before. But and you're gonna go for a third one. But yeah, the point of it is like you guys are spot on too, because you can trust it in 2 ways. You can say you trust your defense so much that if you pin them back, they ain't gonna score. But you can also trust your goddamn defense. I can put them wherever I want on the field.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get out in 3 downs. Right. So there's 2 ways to look at that, right? It doesn't mean that you don't trust your defense because you didn't kick it. It can mean you just don't trust your goddamn kicker because, again, he hit the guy selling beer.
Well, yeah. Well, at that
up
point,
the
it's a combination of both. You
Yeah,
can't-
so
you
it's
can't
like
kick it.
you're right. You're right there, Luke. Smartest decision he's made this year, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nick. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if
Yeah,
that's
we
a
all beat
playoff
the line
game,
for that passing game, Brian.
If that's a
Check, we're not
playoff
gonna
game,
yell at you.
then I agree. Like smartest decision you could have made. But I watched like Dan Campbell in a tie game go for it on 4th down when he could kick the field goal for the lead. Like when you're 11-2,
Yeah, that's a great
you have the luxury of taking gambles. Like I don't know.
That wasn't a gamble. That was stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not with
that
that
was
at
stupidity.
all. I don't want him doing that on our team. Hell no.
I would love for him to go for a 4th and 1 in an NFC title game.
Yeah.
And Zach Bonner and Kobe Dean, or maybe even Jalen Carter. Just just lay
Just
the dude out.
stuff him. Stuff him.
Hey, David Montgomery. Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave. Good to have
No,
you.
so like I agree
Hey,
with you
Knuckles.
guys that it was stupid. I'm not saying it wasn't stupid, but you can be aggressively stupid when you're 12-1 and 11-2.
Sure.
That's my only point.
Absolutely.
You
No,
like
no
it.
doubt. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He likes to show how big his sack is. He's a sack shower. You know what I mean? He's probably showed it a couple times to his buddies too.
Probably.
Like lifted up his pants. Look how big these guys are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look how big my nutcrackers
Oh, he
are.
absolutely
Merry
has.
Christmas, everybody. He's
He
definitely
absolutely
a nutsack.
He was a
shower.
maniac as a player.
Yeah, he's a guy we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could all say we know a guy like that. We've been in locker rooms with guys that just want to, show their goods off.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know what?
sometimes
This whole situation, though, we kind of saw it coming, right? I mean, a couple weeks
What?
ago, my crumb of the week was the media for trying to divide this team and trying to
dude.
find stuff that wasn't there, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, it's there. Right? Like we saw it coming from the outside, and to be honest with you, before all this blew up, I just crossed up Sunday as just Jalen had a bad game. That's okay, right? It happens in the NFL. We've been playing at such a huge, clip and a good clip. We knew this clunker of a game was going to happen, and I said it Sunday. I was so happy it happened then because we had the Steelers coming in, and then we go on the road to Washington. Right, that clunker couldn't have come at a better time for like this team to kind of like re-wake up, right?
Yeah,
We're also playing. We're playing the clunkers. I mean, they played the Chiefs the same way. They played the Buccaneers the same way, and they played us the same way.
Yeah,
like they're just a
You're right,
clunker
Mike.
team. Like we're acting like we were the only team that happened against.
And we just won 8 in a row going into it, and 2 tough road games. So and you got Carolina and Pittsburgh coming up. Maybe you take your foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, a little look forward. Yeah.
Yeah, attention to detail, shit like that matters, but you're just better than them. And
This team's also the team you played against also just played close games the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
They overtime at Tampa Bay. They played a close game in Kansas City, and everyone seems to. And Forget they played a third game. Not remember who. I mean, they've been
Well,
tight
it
with
was us.
everybody all season.
It was I think Atlanta, right?
Yeah, as soon as
don't-
Bryce
Atlanta
Young,
right before all that.
as soon as
Before-
Bryce Young came back in, they've been playing
Yeah, like,
competitive football.
Yeah.
And Adam
He makes
Thielen
plays.
came off IR. Adam Thielen's been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and listen, we should have won that game prior to that because we would have got, we would have made that stop when Jalen Carr deflected the ball and Thielen caught it.
Yeah.
Right. So you can look at that game being like that could have been over a while ago, right? So, man, I don't think any of this is a big deal. I really don't. And I think 95% of this media in this goddamn city is out for clicks, is out for divide, and is out for all the wrong things. All the wrong things. And that starts with beat writers. That starts with WIP. That starts with 97.5 The Fanatic. That starts with Fly, Philly, wherever the hell they are. It starts with all of them. And it starts with 95% of the podcasts you all fucking listen to of a bunch of dryer sheets that don't have a goddamn clue what they're talking about, never played shit in their life, and they just can fire up a podcast and go live because the whole world can. And they have no clue what the hell they're talking about. So if you keep listening to it, you get brainwashed by it. Hence why my station is just on some country music, and I ain't listening to no sports talk. I don't listen to it.
Yep.
I don't listen to it. My opinion ain't going to be based off what some guy with an agenda to try to drive ratings is going to say. Because what does that guy know? You see the faces of some of these cats? You ever get it? You ever look at some of these dogs and you think those dudes played? One dude talked about bubble baths. Are we okay? Is this city okay? Are you gonna fire that up every morning? You're gonna that's how you get your morning started with a bubble bath? Grow up, and you're gonna listen to that in the morning. Have you seen some of these guys in face to face and what they look like? And you said, you know what? That guy looks like he did something. Or look, he really knows the game. Shit.
Brian said we're not beating the Lions without a passing game. When the Lions are a team, for 24 straight games, they have a rushing touchdown. All they do is run them. They got Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. They're the kings of rushing touchdown. They've done it 24 straight weeks, but we're not going to beat them without a passing game.
They won a game where he threw 5 interceptions too.
Yeah.
So the passing game is not.
Talk about the league being rigged for Detroit, right?
Yeah. Martian, I'll tell you something, babe. Like, I never a Jay-Z cat. I'm glad I wasn't. The more you know.
Yeah.
Right? I'm glad I wasn't. Like, Diddy back in the day, when it was Puffy, you give him a couple songs, right? He's going to take that out of him. He was obviously doing a lot of other stuff. But my two road dogs back in the day were Tupac and Biggie. That's who I rode with. So if you were getting in the car with me, you know what I mean? You knew you were getting something good. Nowadays, you grow. I think I'm not the old guy that doesn't like rap. Like, I like a good song if it's a good song. But if you had to dial me up, dial me some country, baby. You know what I mean?
My lawn.
Yeah, but you wouldn't expect that probably from me. Just a little, get to know me, Martian. We just had a little get to know me. Get to know me moment. Yeah, Shaboos is good too. I was like, you know what I mean? Don't be mad at Shaboos. He can spit it. All right. Yeah. So, none of this is a big deal besides. So, we're talking about, like, when we say dryer sheets, I want people to understand what this means. We're talking about the big bounce, double wide, extra thick, that big load in the dryer. We're talking about the biggest sheet you can find. You're like, damn, that's like.
How about the ones talking about his profile picture on Instagram?
That's as big as my bed sheet.
Like that, dude. They don't. It's so direct to Philly media because if you remember, he said specifically after he played a year here, "Can you guys please not divide us?" Do you guys remember that where he said that? So obviously, the next time he's in some BS like this, he's like the Joker because he's being played like the bad guy. That's all that means. And it's directed at them, not at Jalen, not at the coach. It's just like the biggest joke that this is such a big deal. Makes no sense.
Because the media in this city has been losers for a while. Because people ask me, Tom, you wouldn't ever want to do a drive time sports talk show. And on the surface, you would say, oh, yeah, it'd be a dream job, right? Greg's known this. I want no parts of that shit. I want no parts of you making me say something to get somebody to call in. I'm not doing it.
And Luke, to your point,
I'm a fan.
Joker,
I'm a
The
fan. Most of
Joker
these guys
profile-
aren't fans. Sorry, Mike. Most of these guys are not fans of the team. Do you understand? Do people understand who you're reading? Who you're listening to? Angelo Cataldi was a Giants fan, guys.
Yeah.
And for 20 years, Ange did a great job of driving ratings. Nobody's going to question that. But he loved the drama. That's all.
Yeah.
I was
know
just
who
gonna
you're
say
listening to.
the Joker profile picture. Isn't Devontae Smith? Isn't his nickname like Skinny Batman?
Yeah.
So I think that has something to do with that also. I think he's
swole
completely
Batman.
Yeah,
trolling.
he's swole bad, man.
He's swole Batman.
Yeah, he's also just one trolling, and two, I think it's Batman and Joker.
Listen, those three
They
guys
showed
are
them
so
doing a
close.
handshake together on those gifs, like floating them out like candy all over Twitter 2 weeks ago, and now they hate each other.
Let me tell you something.
Like, what?
Those three guys are so close. Like, I can't be more clear about this. Those four, I'll even add Saquon into the mix, but I won't add him in yet in terms of those three's relationships and time spent with each other. I mean, Devontae Smith hasn't played with another quarterback outside of Tua, right? Besides Jalen Hurts. So, right, and when you talk about A.J. Brown, most of his career now has been with the Eagles. So, and
And
their
he wanted to
relationship,
play with him in college.
yeah, and their relationship is obviously, we know it. We talked about it. Jalen's the godfather of his daughter. They're best friends. Like, God, goodness gracious, you're going to try to make drama between two close friends like that? That's how sick this city is, this media. That's how sick, and this fan base buys into it, and they take it as this gospel goddamn thing because somebody on the dial said something. Come on, man. And they pray before games together, and like now these guys all hate each other. Come on, dude. Like T.O. and Donovan really didn't like each other.
Yeah.
But we ain't trying to mimic that shit when it ain't there. Like, you want one of these guys to leave when all they do is win football games together? Like Mike said, all they do is win. We're trying to divide that. Fuck all of you, not the fans. Every media person in this city, you can come on here and explain yourself. You never will, because you're all soft as shit. And you probably have to sit there with your kitty cat purring all night and you petting it. They're the type of cats you are. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody got a bathtub, a glass of wine, and a kitty cat. Shut up. Stop talking. No.
I can't stand how every game, like Panthers game, now after the Steelers game, it always comes back to, well, when we play the Lions. First of all, you don't even know if you're going to play the Lions. Okay. Second of all, what has Jared Goff done? He went to a Super Bowl 5 years ago. They scored 3 points. Like, I know it was 5 years ago. They scored 3 points. I mean, Jalen 2 years ago went to Super Bowl. We scored 35. We scored 35 in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I was watching him throw lasers to A.J. Brown. That entire season, he was just passing the ball. Like, every game doesn't have to go back to, well, when we play Detroit, we might not even play them. Like, you can only play who's in front of you. You know, a clunker game and you still win. Like, they won. There's not much else you could say. You can't tell me what Jalen's doing in week 13 is going to affect 5 weeks down the road when we play a team we might not even play. We're talking about Jared Goff, how great of a passer this guy is. Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff have both lost in the Super Bowl. It's the only commonality they have, and the common denominator that they have. But Jared Goff scored 3 points. We scored 35. Yeah. And there's levels to this shit. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I'm not sure either. Jacob. Luke, can you answer Jacob's question here, please?
Why would he say? Because before the clip went viral and before they clipped it to make it seem like he actually knew what he was talking about, he said before he said any of that, I don't really know what's going on. But, and let's be honest about the most beloved person probably on the team today. Let's be real, right? You think that guy is, I just don't understand what people are. He messed up. Okay. You don't got to rub it in and make it bigger. And then we got to keep talking about it and keep talking. No, it's not. He said he didn't know anything. Yep. I want to hear the full clip. What was the question they asked him? I would love to know the question. What if the question was like, are they still friends? And he said, I don't really know anything, but what if that was the question? Do you think he went on that show and just went on his own spiel about how they don't like each other? He's not a moron. They set him up.
Bill.
I think Bill hates AJ.
Bill, we just said it, Bill. Like, well-respected in the locker room doesn't mean you know everything with 53 guys. Right? With all due respect, Bill.
He's a defender.
Yeah, with all due respect, Bill, if you think everybody knows everybody that well in a locker room, with that many people, you are misguided. This isn't baseball. Doesn't mean you don't need to all be one. Doesn't mean you all don't, you don't throw a guy a pound and say what's up to him. It makes sense?
You listen to LaShawn McCoy today. He did an unbelievable job of breaking it down, and he basically was covering for Brandon Graham, definitely. But what he said was, when I was playing, a defensive player, no matter what was going on, they never checked me. They never checked me. It was offense and defense. Obviously, you have camaraderie as a team. But in terms of that kind of stuff to that detail, doesn't matter whether you're a captain or not. If you're playing on the other side of the field, you just don't know those kinds of things. That's what he was saying.
And he's right.
Also, I'm not.
Yeah, no, Jacob, I know you were just asking, brother. I know, like in the Bill, like when you only see the clip, it can be taken a different way, right? Like what he said is what he said, but like when he leads it off with like, I really don't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Like he just heard the clip, probably from AJ. Right?
Yeah.
About the passing game. It needs to be better. And then he probably just maybe things changed, right? Like maybe things change with him. What's going to change with two best friends?
We're the three best friends.
Jalen can be held. Jalen has no problem being held accountable, from what I understand. Right? From what I understand, the type of teammate he is, in terms of that, I don't think he has a problem with it, from what we understand. Right? So, do you think like him saying that, like, makes Jalen hate him? The same guy who put his arms around him like this and was talking to him in the middle of the game. They hate each other now. Like I don't get it. Like,
well, here's the other question:
brainwashed.
You kind of made me think this right now. I think you're right. If that he came out with that quote on Monday, his show is on Monday, and typically they don't really get in the facility much on Monday anyway. The last thing he heard as a guy who's not even really playing anyway was that clip, and then you heard it all day. They probably weren't even in the building together before he even said that. So that's all he's reacting to anyway.
Yeah, because he was definitely probably not in the building Monday.
No,
because they're not required to be in there, right?
No.
So it's an off day, and who knows if BG was even in the locker room after the game, after those pressers, because he's not getting interviewed. So he's going in, getting his stuff, and getting out of there. By the time that stuff starts, like people don't think about that. Like you think he was sitting next to him, and there was this like breakout fight in the locker room, and how everybody knows about it. No, that would have got out beforehand. That would have got out Sunday. That's not going to wait to get out Monday. There is no problem here unless we want to make it a problem. That's it. Time's yours as the fan base. On your social platforms, if you're going out of your way to continue to try to make it a thing, because that's what you live off of. You're a loser. You're not a great teammate. You're the people that we don't want to be teammates with. Right? I want great teammates. That's it. So if some of y'all want to be losers, be losers. Hate AJ, hate Jalen, and hate 11 and 2, I guess. And I guess you think we win ugly when we win by pounding it down your goddamn fucking throat. So you can also, I've said this a million times, that's been flashy too.
But when the Chiefs win ugly every single week, we don't bat an eye.
No, everybody's blowing them.
Yeah, the Chiefs have won ugly you could go to every single game. It's been ugly.
Well, everybody's like, Patrick.
But Mahomes.
And to me, the big difference is he let him fly in the Cincy game. That's like the last game he threw for a bunch of yards. He only threw 20 times. And what AJ's saying is that when you throw me the ball, he had 5 receptions in that game, and he was fine and happy. It's not because he didn't, get 4. It had nothing to do with the receptions. It was the fact that it was 5 receptions and 84 yards. I think he's upset that, okay, I'll take 4 catches in a game, I don't want it to be 4 catches for 43 yards.
Yeah.
I want to get throwing the ball down the field. That's what he's saying. It's nothing deeper than that. And they'll fix that because he's
Well, when
A.J.
you're
Brown,
open-
and you should get him the ball.
Can I explain
Gotcha.
this too? Like, as a guy who had to run routes at a point in my life, when you run them and you're open and you're not getting the football, that gets frustrating no matter how great of a teammate you are.
Facts.
Okay? So then you don't know what it's like to compete.
It's just being human.
Shit, if you're going out playing
I'd be
flag,
like-
you're going to play tag football. You know, I mean, two-hand touch with your boys back in the day. And the guy who's playing quarterback could be your best fucking buddy. And he ain't throwing you the ball and you feel like you're open. You don't think you go back there and be like, yo, I'm open. Throw me the ball. I'm open. Come on.
Yep.
Throw me the ball. And you go run 10 more of them. And right. And you run all these routes and you think you're open. Come on, guys. This shit ain't hard.
Yeah.
This ain't something new. And he ain't saying nothing wrong. He didn't say my quarterback isn't good enough. You know, my quarterback this. He said, what do you need to do better? What needs to be better? And he said, the passing game. Don't understand the harm in that.
Yeah.
Also,
If you
our
ask-
strength is the run game. So when
Yeah.
you're using your strength, it's not even that it's a weakness. It's just you don't have to use the passing game as your strength.
Yo,
It's not our
please leave
strength.
this comment up. I looked this up on purpose. This is funny. When AJ got upset last season about his target share, it was pretty similar to this game we exactly had. It was in a game in which they won against Minnesota. He had 4 catches for 29 yards, and then he complained. He then went on to break a record for most consecutive games with at least 120 yards receiving.
Yeah. He's a top 5 wide receiver. They're
People are just making
top
shit up
2 or
now.
3
Like that's
potentially, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
people are just making shit. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
actually, and
You
to be
you
fair
forgot
with
about
you,
that.
and people like last season sucked. You know when we looked at our best was when he was getting those games.
When he fed
That
him, when we
was-
fed him the
That
ball.
was the Rams game in LA last year. That was the Miami game, the Kelly Green game. Like,
Washington.
yeah, the
I
Dallas
think
game.
Washington
like,
was the breaker, was the record breaker.
yeah, and then the Dallas game. Like,
Oh my God. So
It's
on
just
ESPN
wrong.
right now, Eagles prepare to host Steelers amid locker room turmoil.
Yeah.
So, and Luke, to that point is they went and fed them, and they went and made sure they threw them the football, and we just weren't a good team because our defense was
horrible.
a wet blanket.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, they didn't do anything. They were a bunch of traffic cones out there. Just they were out there, and you had them all lined up. Here's your 11 guys.
I mean, but
Man.
now we're just saying shit that just didn't even happen. That
Yeah,
just
well-
didn't happen.
And you also look at what
Bill's
AJ
credit
did
that.
earlier this year, right? I mean, you look at he was top 5, top 6, whatever, maybe top 10 in yards with half the catches that everybody else had. Because early in the year when we feed him, he was breaking tackles because that's what he does. Right? You're right. You're absolutely right. He doesn't need 800, he doesn't need 8 catches. I'd love to have him have 8 catches, but he could turn 6 catches into 120 yards. Because
That's
he's
all
done
he's
it.
complaining
He can
about.
turn 4 catches into 80 yards
Exactly.
and 2 tutties because he's done it his whole career. He's
That's
a number
all
1
he's
quarterback. There's a level of diva that comes with them all, and if you don't understand that, you're just not watching football. You don't. think Justin
If
Jefferson
you don't want to
is screaming at Sam Darnold.
Yeah, if you don't want to understand that as a fan, have fun rooting for Jalen Bragers all the time because that's what that
Yeah.
is. That if you don't want the football,
Same
you are.
thing in Tennessee. Tennessee
What if
stunk.
What if Joe Burrow stopped feeding Jamar?
Yeah.
Not that this would ever happen, but what if Jamar
100%.
Chase stopped getting targets? Like, what if that started to happen?
Yeah. And
Tom
of course he's
Brady-
like that.
Oh my
Tom
God,
Brady.
guys, this is a non-issue.
It is an absolute.
No,
non-issue.
like I just listened to both of those two talk,
Oh.
Jalen
was
and
it?
AJ. And
Oh,
Jalen
AJ
said,
was small smiles today with the biggest
Yeah.
crowd. The
He said,
biggest
"That's
crowd in
PG."
his locker room.
"That's just BG being BG." He
Yeah.
said, "He's just speaking from the heart, from an outsider." And that's what he said.
He
From
didn't
the
know.
outside, he's speaking from the heart, from the outside. Keyword AJ Brown said, from the outside. So everything that we just expected, right? We were like on to it, was right. So we just confirmed that tonight. And Jalen just said, listen, guys are going to express themselves differently. And I accept that. And I also know that I got to play better.
Yeah.
I got to look at myself and know what I can do better. So I mean, it's accountability from Jalen. It's accountability from AJ too, because he's like, it wasn't an attack on Jalen. It's just our whole passing game. We got to do better.
And I thought Nick also handled it well too in deflecting it from being an individual attack. Right, I thought Nick handled the whole situation well.
I didn't hear
also.
him, Greg. What did he say?
It was just very similar. Like, hey, it wasn't an individual attack. It wasn't on one guy. We do have to be better.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, we're undefeated with this guy playing. I don't care if they hate each other. I don't care if they don't even want to look at each other. They're undefeated when they're playing
They
together.
don't even hate each other.
I'm just saying, even if they do, let's say they can't stand each other.
Right.
Let's say they're fist fighting after every game in the locker room. Keep doing it because we're undefeated. And this is the same fan base. We're going to bitch and moan when Hurts throws an interception next week in a key spot because we're so worried about the passing game. We're 11-2. We're just bitching and bitch. We're 11-2.
Yeah, Sirianni said, I didn't take it that way. You could do anything and spin it in any way. I took it as we want to get better as a passing attack. AJ is part of our passing attack, and so we all want to be better at it. Jalen and AJ are both really outstanding people and both really outstanding players. I love that our players are wanting to get better and a desire to get better. And that's what we talk about all the time. It's how we get better and be able to do the things that are special.
And Jalen said, AJ's a competitor and he wants to have and make an impact on the game. So what is wrong with that? If you want a wide receiver that doesn't want the football,
Jalen Reagor, have fun.
Yeah. Oh, Luke, stop it! Get out of my head.
Have fun rooting for Jalen Reagor.
JJ
I was going to say Jalen Reagor.
You just don't want to root for good. You will never have a good receiver here.
Yeah.
You will never have it. And we're like, how delusional are people? We saw this happen last year, and I think people just kind of want to forget it because last year sucked. But there was a little bit of good there in that little stretch.
Yeah.
And the only good that came from was after he said this exact same thing. And he's not saying throwing the ball or targets. He's even saying taking advantage of the targets. That's what he's talking about, which is not a big deal. That's so fixable, especially in week 15. It's just so not a big deal.
And again, especially when you look at those plays and they're there. Right? It's not like we're creating different plays. The plays are there. They're just not being done. You know what I mean?
And this is the media's job. They're doing their job. We're sitting here talking about it. We got comment sections talking about it. They're doing their job. They have to ask these questions to get the clickbait, to get the drama stirring. They have nothing else to talk about. We're 11-2. They're doing their job. They're doing a good job. But the media is a pain in the ass. You can't believe everything you hear and see. He got asked a question. He answered it. Got spun a 180. And here we are talking about it. So they did their job. This is what they want. They want the dialogue. They want everyone tuning in to see what happens next. They're doing their job. That's what the media is supposed to do.
I agree, but I don't like it. It's not what they're supposed to do.
No, it's definitely not what they're supposed to do. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not what they're supposed to do.
Marcus Hayes. I never heard Marcus Hayes' name in my life, and now everyone knows who he is. Was he right? I'm not saying he was right, but we talked about it, and everyone knows who he is. So he did his job.
Wow, we're getting thrown around.
I'm just saying, we know his name. I didn't know his name. You could walk past me on the street. I wouldn't know who he is.
Well, I know his name. I mean, he's been around for a long time. But he's also a crumb brulee. You know what I mean? He's a little crumb brulee. He's big time crumb. Right? Well documented crumb. A lot of these guys are. But we just assume because they get a fucking goddamn microphone or their phone and they record somebody that they have it in.
But they'll record them doing the handshakes 2 weeks ago though. They'll do that too while everything's going so well.
Yeah, nothing's going bad. That's the funny part.
Yeah,
like all your conversation should be on Monday is, hey, we need our quarterback to play better, and the conversation could be like, hey, if we want to win a Super Bowl, what more do we need from Jalen Hurts in his attempts? That's the lead on Monday morning. That's your lead. Eagles win 9 in a row. This shit ain't hard. So you still have a conversation piece that's a quarterback and the franchise quarterback of your football team. That's not shots. It doesn't need to be you throwing jabs at him all day. You gather the fan base's opinion on what they think he needs to do better or if they think he's playing great. That's it. And I just did that for you guys for free. You know what I'm saying? That's on the hat. That's on me. You're welcome. Goodness gracious, Greg. We've been doing this for 10 years.
Yep.
11, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is because it's been so long. Like, it ain't hard coming up with show topics to create a good conversation that isn't, if the coach is terrible, then we talk about how terrible he is.
Yeah.
But we're not going to, we might want to fire somebody or get rid of somebody, but our goal isn't to try to create something that isn't there.
Yeah.
Can we go to Michael's most recent comment?
Yeah, can I say one last thing too?
Yeah.
Before we go, and we'll go to Mike too. Is that I said the second I created it, it was no agenda radio. There's no agenda. Besides we love our teams. Our only agenda is Broad Street. And it's never changed over a decade. It's never changed.
Yeah.
Like that, need to tell them new guys, the new people, what the real focus of A2D's always been. It's agree to disagree radio. We don't always have to agree. We yell, scream at each other, whatever. But we're not here to divide. We're to fucking conquer.
Yeah.
Quit that too, Craig. I got them all. A million of them.
No place to put them tomorrow.
It moves some things around. I can
figure it out.
Yeah, you got to do this.
Yeah.
11:32. Yeah, it's
what Michael's saying is completely accurate. What he said, like, that's what he's upset about. But I have a problem, and where we have a problem is that has nothing to do with them not liking each other.
Sure.
That one has nothing to do with the other.
Yep.
He's upset about that. Yes, he said that. That's what he said. I understand that. I'm not saying he's lying. I understand he's upset about that. And he's a right to be upset about that. But that doesn't mean that they hate each other. And guess what? He said the same damn thing last year, and he went on a tear. So why is everyone so upset? You get the point exactly. You understand it. Don't buy into all this other shit about them not being friends. It has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but Sweeps, on agree disagree, his brother Tony, was a best friend growing up. We had a lot of best friends, but we were close, right? We're all so close. And whenever we played football together, he was always my number one pick as wide receiver, right? I was a quarterback. And we were family, bro, but we went out there and competed. And there would be times we would go at it because he thought he was open. You get where I'm going with this? We would go at it because he thought he was open because he's fucking competing. You understand? And the great quarterbacks take it in, right? And they don't force feed it though, right? They try to focus on, hey, what did I miss? What can I do better, right? Like, okay, I did miss him there. I did miss him. How do I not miss him the next time, right? Not like, oh, I'm going to go look at him 25 times next game, right? Because now Devontae's going to come say, oh, you know what I mean? So, it's dude, just be on time and it changes everything. And see the field better. And you can have weeks where you don't see the field well. Shit, man. Like that's also a thing.
Well, yeah, because I mean you heard Mailata say that they did stuff in the game that they didn't see on tape, right? So that happens. And like like we said, and I said, I just chalked it up to a bad week. Jeez. And then all hell broke loose and it's out of control.
Like, you know what I'm saying, though? Like, it's not that serious. If you've ever played sports at the high school level, college level with your friends, this is how it goes.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
If you're 2-11, it's serious. You're 11-2. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, there's 32 teams in the NFL. One's going to hoist the Lombardi. So, I mean, we're talking about nothing right now.
You know, we said one thing wrong there. They're about to be 12-2 because they're going to beat the Steelers.
Boom!
24-17.
24-17. Well, I got to count for the 3 touchdowns from AJ. At least one. At least one from Saquon.
Hey, Jake.
Get Jakey a feel good. I'm going 32.
You're out of here.
Ooh.
32-23.
It's so funny you said that because I was going to go in the 30s and get a little cute tonight.
Yeah.
And then I was just looking up their numbers a little bit, and I was like, all right, maybe
they're pretty good.
maybe I'll pull back from that.
But I don't think George Pickens might not play.
Yeah, but he doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
He doesn't play defense, so.
No.
So thanks for that.
Appreciate it. That's what I'm here for.
Thanks for the drop in. Appreciate it.
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
Yeah, dynamite drop in, Monty. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
No, but I mean they're seventh in yards. You know, against opponent, they're eighth in average.
do they even have any good pass rushers?
No, nobody.
Nope.
Their rush average, they're only 4.1 yards a carry, which you could say is not great, but it's sixth in the NFL, right? So,
Yep.
Rush attempts, it's only second. So the team's only had second least attempts, I guess that means, right? Yeah. So
Wait. We can't be pessimistic and say that the sky is falling, and then say that Philadelphia is going to roll over Pittsburgh. So who gives a shit then? If you think they're going to win, who cares about what's going on now? If you think you're going to steamroll them, who cares?
who said
That's
steamroll?
See, this is the common opinion. It's like, oh, they're assholes, and now they're going to play a good Pittsburgh team at home. Oh, they're going to beat the shit out of them. So what are we talking about? Like, this is the same
He
people.
did. Umberto, you're right. He did have 3 tutties in the first half last year against the Steelers. The Steelers have not beat the Eagles since 1965.
Holy
that,
shit.
yeah.
And that's
Saw
not
that.
changing this week.
Yeah, Bill, we'll get into this, but I think Barkley goes over 100.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's gonna be
he almost
close.
does it by accident.
Yeah, you can't
I think
change
it'll
who
be
you are.
close. I think this BS is going to make Jalen make poor decisions. I think he's going to make 1 or 2 bad passes. I think he throws 2 picks this week. But our defense is going to stand on their head like they always do, and Barkley's going to run it right down their throats, and we're going to win. I think Jake Ellie. I said it last time I said it. I screwed him, so I'm not even going to say
Don't do
nothing. But I think we
this.
win this
Yeah, don't
20 to
say it.
17. 20 to
He's gonna hit
17. We win.
He's
We
going
win
to
by
hit
a field goal.
He's going to hit a ship in the Navy Yard. And he's gonna get one so far off. Mike, the one thing I'll say about that, and I hope I'm right, and it's more just like trying to talk into existence and hope you can grow as a football player, right? And as a leader, that this doesn't make him make poor decisions. This makes him.
I don't think
more
long term.
focused.
I just think this game.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I just hope that it's more attention to detail and it's more attention to finding out what did I miss, how can I fix it, how can I see it better next time, right? And how can I trust it? And I just hope it doesn't become a force feed.
No, that's all it is trusting it, because the
Yeah.
guys are open. They show the clips of them open. That to me is all it
Absolutely.
is. But how much of it is this? And this could either be in Jalen's head, or maybe some of the coaches are telling him. Who knows? Probably most likely in Jalen's head, which is like over the bye, the stress of do not turn the football over. And then you hear Jalen say like something like this today. This is the way Jalen Hurts plays, and this is it works, and we win. So it goes with the same thing of not trusting it, while also saying, I see you're open 25 yards down the field, but I also see 7 yards of space in front of me, and I'm going to take that instead. And that's what the receivers are pissed off about. And that to me is the only change the team needs to make to be alphas in the NFL. That's it.
And
It's that
the problem with it, like, right, you were 2-2 and you were trying to do that. Okay. So when they were 2-2, they were trying to do it. Now, throughout the 9-game winning streak, there is times in games where they threw the football well, in my opinion. Right.
Yep.
And then there's a handful where they didn't. So that's where the problem comes in. And more over the last couple weeks, right? So you've seen the average yard per attempt keep going down. And that's what starts to drive guys crazy too, Luke, right? Like we were talking about. Like they want to make big, impactful plays.
That's it.
Right? Like
it's not the 4 receptions. It's the 4 receptions, 43 yards. That's what he's pissed about.
4 for 80 and a TD. He's good. Like Devontae's probably good. Scored a tutty, right?
Yeah.
Like you can sort of leave like you made an impact on the game, right? And it's like doesn't mean you need a touchdown every time. You can go 5 for 100, right? Hey, 5 for 100 cut because AJ's open like that. So I just think it's like, listen, you have the games you don't see the field well. I don't even want to make it in anything more than that. Like you can see, he just didn't want to pull the trigger. I don't want to even say it's like the not turn the football over. I just think he didn't see it well.
Yeah, I agree.
And then when he doesn't see it well, he uses his legs.
Well, that's much more of a problem.
Well, the good problem is when he doesn't see it well is when he uses his legs more. And they win.
So
like at the end of the day, every big drive this football team's needed over 9 weeks, him and this offense have delivered. So at the end of the day, I have my things I can say critical and I have my things I can say positive, right? But when you feels like you guys are always making the big play and you're running for the big first down that extends the drive, etc., right? And we win. I'll say it many times. I don't care how I win. I don't got to be the glitz and the motherfucking glamour. I just got to win, baby. Just win, baby.
Win, baby, win.
Also, side note, I think it's time to move on from Goddard. The guy hasn't. He played 16 games in 2018, and he hasn't since. He's played
across the table.
There's a guy up here that'd be perfect for the job.
Oh my God.
Yeah, since 2020, he's played 11 games, 15, 12, 14, and he's played 9 so far this year. But I feel like he just needs to be out there. He's never out there. I feel like
you're absolutely right.
And he's big. Every time we have a big passing game, I feel like Goddard's a part of it. They call me nuts, but every time there's a big passing game, I feel like Goddard does something.
Well, why would you be called nuts when the tight end's the quarterback's best friend?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Zach Ertz was for years.
You're not nuts. And what I'll say about Goddard is he's just charming. He's the extra soft.
Yeah.
He's extra soft body. Big as shit. You know what I mean? But always hurt.
I'll make you hate Tyler Warren if he comes here. He could do no wrong if he came here.
Well, he's going to be in range.
I'd get the poster. I'd get the poster.
I didn't want to
lock screen, wallpaper.
He's going to be in range of where we're going to be drafted at.
Sock or no sock, Luke?
Oh, dude, whatever he prefers.
No, I'm saying what you prefer. Like, what are you finishing, babe? You know what I mean? What do you finish it? You socking it?
I think if it's poster board material, I think we got to sock it, right? I don't think you got much of a choice.
All right. I mean, unless you want to go like, you go get some paper towels. You know what I mean? I don't know how guys operate.
I was never expensive.
I was never a sock guy. So when I say socks, it's more for the real dryer sheets.
Yeah, I mean they're dedicated to their craft, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going, but what's your score prediction?
Sock guys are always strange.
I'll go 22-19.
Jesus, Bill's got
weird game. But I think that AJ, I disagree with the poll. I don't think he gets 2 touchdowns, but I think we're talking 120 over 100 yards, something like that. But Mike Tomlin, he's got to be like, all right, we're doubling him on every play, right? There's no way.
Mike Tomlin's got to be the coach of the year, by the way. All that dude
right,
does.
But you don't think he's coming into this game being like they're gonna feed him the ball like early?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, they try to feed everybody.
Good thing is though, it's gonna be
Joey. No, they don't. They really don't.
No. Every first quarter, they try to feed the football. The quarterback ain't willing to make the throws.
Not to AJ though.
First quarter. Let's keep this 100. We don't score in the first quarter, and we try to throw the football. Like this ain't hard to realize. So when you don't connect early, you're never in rhythm. Passing game wise, but running game wise and defensively, we are the best in football. 11-2. That's it. I mean, this is the simplest shit in the country. If he plays better in the first quarter, we'll be blowing teams out. So I'll even double stamp what I said earlier. I didn't even have a big win, 24-17.
Double stamp, triple stamp.
If he can throw well in the first quarter and they get a lead early, they might win by they maybe can win by 2 touchdowns, right? But the problem is he's never in rhythm in the first quarter. So when you don't start out with any bit of it, it's hard to gather that and gain it. And he's been able to overcome it because of his legs, right? I thought the play design with Devontae Smith was great for the touchdown. Thought it was a great play design.
And AJ was wide open. And AJ was wide open too.
Open again. I mean, that's another.
And also, he
got laid out too.
That's his read right in front of his face too. That was the easiest throw to make.
Imagine getting hit without the football.
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, I mean, there's reason guys got to say some things, and it's ain't that serious. So, and listen, we all got them winning. I still think it's going to be a close game. Pittsburgh's great. The best head coach in the National Football League is Mike Tomlin. It's not close, and I like a lot of other guys, but it's not close. He's done it with less forever. He's revived Russell Wilson a little bit, which I don't think anybody could do. Sean Payton tried it, didn't work. If there was a guy out there that could do it, it would be Mike Tomlin. There was a great meme the other day too. Great video. It was Tomlin walking with a coffee, with a strut, and it was you getting your 4-year-old up to go to the cages after you see Juan Soto.
Yeah, Juan Soto
Juan Soto's contract. Related, I almost went and woke him up with sunglasses on.
Let's go, Cass. Let's go,
You
Cass.
ready?
We gotta go to work.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. I mean, players of the game. I mean, this thing. Listen, man. It's the MVP of the National Football League. It's Saquon Barkley. He goes for 130.
Ooh.
They rush for about 185 as a team on the ground. That's what they do.
They do.
Like you say, we usually get 200. I'll give respect to Pittsburgh, 185. It's what we do. And we could lose this game. And if we lose this game, this city's going to be a nightmare, by the way.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be horrible.
And
It's
Bill's going to be
must-win.
in here Sunday night puffing chat.
Oh, remember I told you.
Remember I told you.
Nobody listened when I just sat here.
No one listen to me.
It's the first must-win in the history of 11-2.
Yeah.
In the history of 11-2.
Nobody wanted to listen.
And Bill, I just said it. So
I was dead right.
I did listen, Bill. We all did. And
Yeah,
there's a
but
chance
if we
lose
do
the game.
win, or when we do win, they're not the Lions, so it won't even matter. But if we lose, it'll all crumble.
Yeah.
But because we won and it's not the Lions, it'll just be irrelevant.
It doesn't
Yeah, they're not
count.
that good. You know, it's always something.
Yeah.
I mean, we shut down arguably the most explosive offense in football. Well, maybe two of them. But definitely the Ravens. Regular season Ravens are explosive.
100%.
That's real
I mean,
talk.
You had 2 MVP candidates on that team.
Joe Burrow pretty good too.
I'm gonna take my player of the game, Zach Bond. I think Justin Fields checks into this game for a big play because they love to do it, and somehow nobody in the league knows that he's just gonna run. And I think he just blows his helmet right off.
Oh.
I think Zach Bond just crushes his ribs.
Nobody. It's so true though, because Redstone will come up, he'll check in, you're like run play, and nobody's got the edges. I'm like, are we okay?
Nobody knows that Fields is running to the outside up the sideline, and nobody can guard it. I think Zach Bond layers the hammer right. It breaks his rib. Eagles
Appreciate you, Eddie.
Thanks,
you,
Eddie.
brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
That's what's your offensive, Mike. That's my offensive Saquon for me.
Oh,
2
my fault.
TDs too. He doesn't get stopped on the one.
Do you see Jalen's like?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saquon too. I just pray that we don't force. I don't need to see 25, 30 passes. I just don't. I don't want Hurts to be just chucking the ball just because we're idiots and we've won. We haven't lost without it with AJ in the lineup. We're 11-2, and now he's just gonna start chucking the football. We don't need that. I hope he doesn't throw a pass in the first quarter. I hope Saquon runs 30 times. He's getting 7 yards a carry. I hope he runs 30 times. I hope he doesn't even throw a pass. I would love that. It'd be hilarious. It'd be such an FU answer.
They're similar too. So play to the similarity because you're better at it. Right? You're better defensively, numbers wise, and you're a better running team. So that's their strength. That's their strength. Right? What do you go do?
Jalen Warren playing for them?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he was back last week, I think.
Ooh. Let's see that.
So that to me is the game. If you can stop the run, that's it.
Well,
That's
we do stop the run for the most part.
Yeah, Umberto is right. It did look, for the first time, a little bit suspect, but you can just pretty much attribute that to like pretty much a weird game all around. So I'm not like concerned, but it's definitely right.
Yeah, 1:00 game, Carolina. I don't know. My juices weren't flowing. So if my juice ain't flowing, like now I'm going to get on these guys. Like now I'm going to sit here like I didn't even move from the couch. It makes sense. One of those is I always move, but you get what I'm saying. Like essentially it just wasn't. I wasn't like laser focused. So I'm like, we're going to win. I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah, Eagles, Rams. He ain't turning the TV off. But Eagles, Panthers. I'm watching the Bulls, Sixers. I'm flipping back and forth.
I was flipping.
Oh,
there was no for Sixer. There was an 0 for 6. We're just out here fucking chucking.
Yeah.
And I got fired up. And I'm glad I circled back. And we'll circle to them. Get their defensive play. I'll just spin a guy.
I'll go AJ Brown as my offensive.
I'm with you, Greg. I'm with AJ too.
Give me AJ. Give me that diva all day long.
But I'll give everyone good news.
Right?
I think it's gonna
fucking narratives.
No, it's gonna be
no narrative.
seven receptions for like
Winner.
103, 104 yards.
I'm gonna go to Devontae Smith because Vegas doesn't lose, and everyone and their mother is going to be betting on AJ Brown. So I'll take Devontae Smith. He just goes by.
I like it.
I can dig it.
That's my son, so I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? That's arguably the best route runner in football, so I'm good. If he played with Herbert, he'd have like 200 catches.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? If he played with a spin,
yeah.
If he played with a spin, I'm not saying like
Joe
Herbert.
Burrow.
Like people are going to start coming after, like, oh, we're not talking about who wins more games. We're talking about who's a better spinner, right? Just
He'd have CTE if he played with Herbert.
Just lead him in this shit.
He'd have CTE.
He's wide open, so that's fine. But if he played with like, who'd you say, Luke?
Burrow.
Oh, if he played with Burrow, he might have 500 catches in a season.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith again. But here he's like, people forget. I said that's a gold jacket cat on the draft night.
Yeah.
I mean, you just go get the jacket for him. Where's that? I don't know where it's at. This is late, man. This is like Cal Ripken.
My cousin lives in
his
house.
I'm like a podcast Cal Ripken. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you I really am like fucking Cal Ripken. I don't miss. You know what I mean, Greg? I am literally Cal Ripken. You're like baby Cal Ripken. You're like, you know what I mean?
No one called me baby in a long time.
Yeah, but you're like the baby Cal because like over your time here, I'm not counting you two in. You're fresh. You know what I mean? Luke's in college. You know what I mean? Mike's got a lot going on his plates. You know, so but Mike don't miss either. It's from the start, right? Mike's been a committed cat. But Greg's like a baby Cal Ripken. Do you two even understand? Are you two even focused on what Cal Ripken's done? Dude, the Iron Man.
Yeah, he doesn't
most
miss.
consecutive games.
I'll put it in your terms. Mikal Bridges.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
Don't miss.
Yeah, but the type of player doesn't translate.
I get it.
Steve, my boy Steve.
Pulse, what up, buddy?
The Iron Man, baby. You know what I mean? Like, we're just here. We're always here. Let's fucking go, he says. Luke equals small Cal Ripken.
By the way, real quick, conversation we had last week. Penn State game in September. You know who comes in September next year?
There's Ducks.
Those Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, there's
that
Ducks.
might be the game to go to.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy. Did you get your tickets, Luke?
Not for next year because I'm gone.
No, for the playoff game.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
boots on the ground. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, but you got to go back up next year. We already talked about this.
Oh, we'll come up for a game. Yeah.
We already talked about this. Greg's gonna fly in.
Yeah,
got a place to stay. You don't need to go get a hotel room. I mean, just come bunk it up, Greg. Like,
I mean, Tom, I know you're not the biggest Penn State guy, but I mean, I'll just riddle you in real quick. They have
no. Let me be clear.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like no. I'm not saying you're a hater.
Ridiculous.
No. I just want to tell you about me. But go ahead, tell me about what you're going to tell me first.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just classic that they have by far the easiest. They have the easiest run in the whole thing. Just for everybody, like I think Penn State might go to the national championship.
They very well could. James, we back, baby. 10-year extension. We'll be there in 2072.
Big game.
Even got me up here.
You get me there. I'll give you an extension, James.
Ooh.
Yeah, he wants the Bryce Harper
more.
extension. He wants the Bryce Harper extension. Like 8 years down the line, he wants
Bryce Harper better wake up.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care. You don't want to do this tonight. We don't want to do this tonight. You ask for extension. You give me down Broad Street, you get a goddamn extension. You got 25 years left. What are we fucking talking about? All right, that rubbed me the wrong way. Still does. That made me
that's the first time. That's the first time in the history of sports someone compared Bryce Harper to James Franklin.
Yeah.
And me and Greg were talking about it earlier. You're on year like 4 of this 13-year contract. You're already at first base. We thought it was going to be 10 years down the road you'd be playing first base. You're already at first base. You want an extension.
Oh, you guys talked about that last Wednesday?
No, but when you were napping.
Oh, when I was sleeping?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear it.
You
wasn't
want an
sleeping.
extension. You're 4 years into the deal. You're already at first base. You figured that would happen 12 years down the road.
Yeah. I get 5 more years. You guys might toss another 5 my way. If I'm a teammate, I'm like, what's this guy? Is this guy okay? He's over there in Nevada, just talking shit. You know what I mean? We doing? Tell Boris to shut the fuck up. All right, because this is where you ruin good stuff, and you haven't won nothing.
Yeah.
You won an NLCS. Cool story. It's awesome. I'll take it, but like you ain't hanging. You're not like celebrating. Are we celebrating that? Like 93 Phillies? Shut up. No, we're not. And if you do, you're a loser. We celebrate 93 Phillies because we just needed something. And they were like, likable. Right. But like, and they are likable guys. You know what I mean? It's a great group of guys that really that you can relate to. Right. But come on. With the amount of money on this baseball team, and we'll talk about it. I'm sorry. I'm not comparing Franklin now, Harper. I'm just talking. This guy is this guy.
I did. That's my fault. That was me. That's my
No,
fault.
I just want to choke. I want to choke sometimes. I would love to get up in you and let me in the locker room a little bit just to talk to you.
I mean, this has choke written all over it. For us,
this is
Yeah.
big game
Go
change written all over it. Like
Yeah.
Don said, SMU by 14. Grow up.
I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when all this playoff stuff happened, I'm like, all right, like realistically, they're gonna come in here and play Bama, and I'm gonna have no expectation, but it'll be cool because we'll play Alabama, and like that's cool, here. And now, of course, they get the easiest path of all time, and they have to win.
Yeah.
And anything other than that is disappointment.
100%.
I will say, Steven, not that we're celebrating it like the 93 Phillies, but I did celebrate that we signed the right guy. And I think in Harper, like it was what, Machado or Harper?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we got the right guy. When he hit that home run, I'm like, hey, this guy's quality. You look up the numbers, they're there.
Both.
Baseball's tough. The team's underperforming.
We signed the right guy, but we should have signed both.
Signed both.
Stupid money was both. So we signed the right guy. I'd rather have Machado over Turner. And if you tell me the opposite, I don't agree. So, I mean, I wanted both. Machado wins games too. So, and he fucking rakes. And he's a Gold Glove third baseman. So, hey.
Who probably could have
like,
still played.
Way more impactful than a right fielder. Essentially, defensively. It's way more impactful. So, give me both. If you really want to be stupid, John. I mean, I'm talking to John. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to John. Uncle Cigar, right? If you want to be stupid, John, then let's get stupid. You got semi-stupid. But it wasn't even stupid because you're going out and getting great players. But I think they've done a good job with that stuff.
Now you're going cheap.
Before we talk Sixers, I thought, I like that. I like the Romano.
Yeah.
I like the Romano signing.
I really like it, especially if he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean it's a start where we talked about, hey, we need bullpen help. We need to address some things. Let's see how they finish off this off season and what kind of moves they make. I mean, Alec Boehm's going to be back because he should be. All right, I'm not spending stupid money for Bregman. I'd rather spend.
Well, it's not Bregman. It's Kyle Tucker. I think he's going to be in the Kyle Tucker deal.
Well, now it's Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker, me. I need a bow tie alert with Kyle Tucker.
Robbie T just said he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, now
anything but Arenado.
No.
I said anything but Arenado. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, what do you think about Arenado?
I don't need to get that much older, babe. You know what I mean? To the Arenado cats. Like, love Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, Nolan's great.
Great, cool. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, that is true, Brian.
Here's the name. You think, by any means, of course, it's going to be a little homerish, right? Teoscar's going back to LA. You already said it. Do you think Arizona deals Gallen before they got to repay him again? They're losing Christian Walker. I think they understand that their window is shot. Do you think they deal Gallen? He's up for a contract after next year.
I think he's a deadline deal. I don't think he's a before the season deal.
I would have called yesterday, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that. Oh, what do you think about how old Zach right now?
Let's use my
before I can tell you how much I give up, right? Before I can get into how much
Google and see what Gregory comes up with.
Damn it. Here
He's
we go.
29.
He's 29 years old.
Listen, he's thrown, and this is factual.
He's thrown a lot.
No, I'm not even going to go there.
Oh,
He's commanded all his pitches since he's been 10U, courtesy of guys who've coached him. All right, so I don't have a problem with the age because he's always been a command cat. When you're a command cat, that's like Aaron Nola, right? Like when you're command, your durability is going to be longer. So, you know what I mean? It's just common sense. Not much wear and tear and strain on your arm. Weird way. And just flamethrowers, right? You get where I'm going?
Yep.
So, I mean, I would listen. What do you want? You want Justin Crawford? Like that? That's when I'm willing to go out and give up some of those guys. Because my window ain't big.
Yeah, it was Crochet.
But
I agree. They don't give up Painter on that one. So I'm
I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up the same guy. Maybe.
Yeah.
I got to give you two other guys. Like, you know what I mean? No. I got to give you Bohm. I got to give you an all-star. I got to give you a proven player. And I got to give you my best pitching prospect. And then somebody else too. Well, my best pitching prospect might be just as good. Nah, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Okay. That's where I hang up the phone. That conversation's over. So now you're telling me Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker me.
The Tucker's going to play left?
Right.
Dude, we have nothing but
Where's
white
Nick
guys.
got?
Though. Not that
He's
it
probably in
matters.
the deal.
But the entire
Nick
team is white.
Nick and Bohm?
Oh yeah, I
Bohm,
saw that.
probably
mock trade.
Bohm,
Yeah, both of
potentially
both of
Bohm,
them.
Ranger, and Nick.
I saw
Right.
something with Bohm and
Bohm and Casti, but they want a pitcher too. So
for him and
maybe we keep
Presley.
Casti. Maybe we keep Casti and throw a Ranger in there.
Wait, we're trying
I
three
saw
players
something-
for one?
No, I saw Bohm and Casti for Presley and Tucker.
For Presley and Tucker. Bohm, Casti, and then Abel or Kaba was the project. Was the Ruben Amaro threw that out there? Yeah.
It wasn't like it's not like a rumor that they're talking about it. It was just like
Everyone's talking about Kyle Tucker. That's
yeah. It's
rumor.
just someone saying like this could happen. Like, what if this happened?
They're rumored to want a corner infielder naturally because they got to replace Bregman, and they want a starting pitcher. I try and talk him into. We'll give you whoever not whoever you want, but we'll give you your choice of XYZ top prospect. But you got to take Taijuan Walker's contract with it because we're gonna have to pay Tucker. Tucker's up for a deal.
Yeah. What else am I getting with Tucker though?
Helsley or Presley, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Presley.
The reliever.
Yeah. I was going to say he's not a starter. So.
Closer. He's a closer.
He's also been doing it for he's got to be, aging a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not.
How old is he? I mean, I'm trying to win, so talk dirty to me on what I'm getting, and then we can have a conversation.
35.
35.
Yeah, he's
30 fucking 5. Holy shit.
He brought in Kimbrel.
So I'm giving 2 all-stars, a big game guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, I'll leave it to you, baseball guys. I have a hard time.
So I'm giving up 2 righties. We're not really that lefty loaded, right? If you think about it, right? Schwarbs, Harper,
Stott,
and Marsh.
Yeah, Marshy. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we could take another one. We could handle another left-handed bat.
But he hits. He's one of those guys like Bellinger, though, right? Like he.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
I
about
wish there
that.
was a catcher out there because JT's at that point where he needs the Jason Kelce, a Cam Jurgens. Like, hey, JT's just at that point. Like,
I think it might be Marchand's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Marchand.
Yeah.
And when Marchand's healthy, he's the guy. The problem, he's just not healthy. But I think
we need a rebound year from JT though, offensively.
Yeah.
And
I think
hopefully with the knee getting healed up, he can have a great year because if he has a great year, listen, if you make that deal, I mean, so
he doesn't have enough off days.
Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Tucker. I'm not naming off the line. I was naming off players, right?
Yeah.
and JT. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
To
Is
Brian's
Stubbs
point,
still on
not
the
that it
team?
matters, but they're all
Nope.
white.
Yeah, I have a problem with that too.
Yeah, we have no, like they're straight. They're
We have
all
nobody
white.
who struggled. I mean, nobody had to get on the raft from breaking nobody was defecting from Cuba. I mean, I want somebody who had to fight their way into it. You know what I mean? Who had to grind a little bit. I want a guy who had to take a boat trip, like freaking under 100 bags of trash, and just had to find his way here, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, it's time for Ranger to go, but look how well he worked out for us. He was a beast. He was an integral part of this run.
Well, I think Andrew Painter is going to be up, obviously, especially after he strikes out like 40 guys in spring training.
The entire Arizona Fall League, too.
Yeah, so but I'll take
Luke.
Presley. Like, I'll take Presley. Like, I wouldn't be mad. So I got Romano and Presley.
Yeah.
I'm feeling and
Alvarado
Alvarado.
back there right
Oh,
now.
hello to you. Hello. So
with you.
now, hello.
And
'cause if
Pastrami.
Alvarado- Oh, dude, that's how Houston won, too. Like, I keep saying this. You just fucking load up the back end.
Yep.
Like, have good starting pitching, load up the back end, get a lead. Night. Thanks for coming, everybody. I don't got to get a stupid trumpet going. I don't got to get nothing going. You know what I mean? I can't wait to play them, too. I can't fucking wait.
Luke, you said Stubbs earlier?
Yeah, I was asking if he's
Dude,
still on
he's-
the team.
Yeah, he's the Furkan Korkmaz, dude. Like, he somehow the guy's on the roster every single year.
Bryce
But-
Harper makes
But to his point, he's the only guy on the entire team, you could argue with a wall, that can bunt. There's not one guy on the team that can bunt besides Garrett Stubbs.
Yeah, they don't work on it anymore, which is
It's a shame.
pathetic. Right?
Bryce Harper's the general manager. This isn't GM of this team.
And he doesn't believe in bunting, apparently.
No, that's why Stubbs is back.
Huh.
No, it's
Interesting.
if you look at the
Because he's-
deal
he's
that
the old
Stubbs,
guy.
That's factual, by the way.
Stubbs is
He
back
loves him. He loves him.
because, well, yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that the CVO is back for the vibes, but he also signed a two-way contract because Marchand is out of options. So if Marchand breaks the year with the team, you can't send him down. So Stubbs probably won't be around a lot. He'll be playing in the minors because Marchand, in theory, is your backup, and I think he's going to play more than you would Stubbs in a scenario because obviously we know Stubbs' limitations offensively.
Well, I think it
Marchand
just
doesn't have
depends.
those limitations.
I think it just depends, right? Like, I think they're going to obviously see how healthy JT is
Right.
and see how JT's playing. So I think breaking camp, it's going to be Stubbs because he has the option to go down. It's just common sense, right? He has the option to go down. And then if they feel like they're not getting the production from JT and now they feel like they're pressed to play, Stubbs a little bit more to get him off his feet, that's where you can run in. That's where I feel like we can run into the problem, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Like that's where not a problem, but that's when you got to bring Marchand up and then Stubbs goes to the minors.
Stubbs goes down. Yeah. So he's back, but his contract he might not be around for portions of the year.
As long as he's not playing.
No, and sadly, this is the year you would need your backup catcher, right? Because of JT aging and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, when they went on that West Coast trip and they were playing like weeknights, like late at night, I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and watch a full game. And he was playing.
You had to watch Stubby.
Yeah, like Jesus, the one time I'm trying to watch a full game.
I'd murder myself too if I had to watch him.
I do think JT needs to rest more though.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not important enough offensively to where you're going to miss him that much.
Not right now.
Not. So
yeah,
I mean,
the Goddard. It's like the Goddard rest.
Well, I think you look at it two ways, right? Like if you use the DH spot correctly at times, right? If you're flexible and you give guys some days off here and there, and you're flexible with that spot, and a little first base, a little Harper DH, right? And there's ways to like sort of get him from catching a little bit.
Yep.
He's such an athletic guy. Even as he gets older, he's still athletic enough that you hope that you get him off his feet a little bit, and then his production goes up, right? Because now he's not his whole lower half, right, is actually gets a little stronger from not the wear and tear of it.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, and you're always going to have the years of wear and tear, but he'll still have enough in the tank if you do it right where you can do that. And it's just about like, okay, what are you going to do? Because you don't want to sit Schwarber. So guess what you do? You run him out the left field a little bit 3 times a week, right? You run Schwarber out the left field 3 times a week. It's not going to kill you, right? And now those spots are now used for JT to get off his feet and just hit.
Yep.
This isn't hard. So throughout the year, now when playoffs come, he's your everyday catcher, right? But throughout the year, you try to get him off your feet like 3 games a week.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2 games a week. You just don't want him to catch every game every week, right? You want it to be more than just one day off. And the one day off shouldn't be you not playing. It should be you just hitting.
Right.
You know, and if you want to give him a full day off, then you do it. But I have no problem with that either. Right? Because like Mike said, his production hasn't been nearly what it was, per se. And he's really never been the carrier of this team. He's been a great catcher. You know what I mean? Good leader. Guys love him. So,
and we talked about it when you were napping, Tom. This is a big year for Stott. I'm all eyes on Bryson Stott. He needs to. It wasn't a sophomore slump, but because it wasn't a sophomore season, but it was definitely a slump. He's got to get back on the. We talk about how great of an 0-2 hitter he is. How about we jump on the first pitch? How about we hit the first pitch instead of going 0-2 and always digging out of a hole? He's good at it, but we don't have to dig a hole every time we're at bat.
You're right. You're right. I'll say this. I mean, I think having, his first kid.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Right before the season or something like that. Like, I just think.
That's why I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying this is a big year for him.
No, I'm just trying to look for reasons on why he may have struggled. And I'm just like trying to, I'm grasping at straws here, right? On why maybe there was a slump this year and offensively, right? Defensively, he was a pimp. So,
yeah.
Sixers. Kyle Tucker, we talked about him. Woo, we'll see. I love Kyle Tucker. I'm just wooing it because, it's just, it is what it is because it's rumors, right?
Yeah.
I always, woo, okay. That's cute. Thanks for stopping it.
Give me Tucker and the kid from Japan.
Oh, that's who I want.
Ooh.
Pitcher, 23-year-old. Ooh. Okay.
Rock hard.
Get talk Sixers.
Is his last name Woo?
We'll make it Woo.
Ooh. My shorts just went woo. You know what I mean? You talking like that. It just went woo downstairs. Hello. Let's go wake somebody up. Right? It's late. It's like we're just talking shit. But yeah, he needs to be better offensively because we need him to.
Yeah.
Like all jokes aside, like he's got to swing it. We were expecting 275, 280.
I was talking, batting champ.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Sal. All right. Sorry, Sal Paslon. I mean, shut up, Sal. Enough of you. Still get a check. Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So Sixers, 4 out of the last 5?
Yeah, and that one wasn't on national TV.
You smelling the roses, Tom?
This came back.
We smelling the roses?
I mean, when they play together too, it's even George on the court with Maxey. They're just like so much better. It's like crazy because they're like so much more competitive. But then you put Joe.
They needed a secondary ball handler. Like Maxey and McCain, they're great, but they're very similar in that they thrive even more when they don't need to have the ball.
Yeah.
And like Caleb Martin, they tried it with him while those guys were out. That didn't work. They tried it with Kelly Oubre. That didn't work. Kyle Lowry, obviously, that didn't work. And like they didn't have that. Yeah, so they just didn't have that. So if you add one of them, and like Paul George isn't lighting the world on fire, like he's probably averaging in these games, like 13 or something. But it's just his ability to bring up a basketball and be somewhat of a threat makes the whole team just 10 times better. Not saying we're going to win a championship, but just saying. It's more fun to watch. Finally.
The knee brace brothers, man. The knee brace brothers.
Pound them.
Pound the knee, pound the kneecaps.
JT's catching 160 games a year. Guys can't play that game. But no, I will
their
say
next three are favorable, though, right? Indiana home, at Charlotte, Charlotte home. So the next three are favorable.
I will say to Luke's
By the
point,
way,
though,
get in the door price for Friday at the Sixers, $7.
And Embiid's playing.
Get in the door at Charlotte on Monday, $6.
but to Luke's point, so they were looking for that backup point guard. I couldn't stand when Nick Nurse there was like a 2-game stretch. They won on the 1 game, but like they just completely just took McCain out of the game plan because he was your backup point guard.
Right.
They didn't have Reggie Jackson. They didn't have Kyle Lowry. So like in the post game presser, Nick Nurse said, "Yeah, we just used McCain as our backup point guard. We didn't really need him to score tonight." And I kind of had a problem with that because I'm like, he's not a point guard. We need him to score. Like, let him shoot. Make anybody else bring the ball up. Like, he doesn't have.
Right.
I want him off ball, or I want him when he has the ball to score, not facilitate. Like, why break what's not broken? Or if it ain't fixed, don't broken. Don't wait. What? It's late. it's after dark. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But like that was weird to me. You don't need McCain being the backup point guard.
I mean, I hate to pat myself on the back, but I did say on draft night I made a Miles McBride comp with him. I think that's lining up to be fairly spot on.
Give me 1
He's
second,
Miles
guys.
McBride.
If it ain't broke, it ain't Joel. Oh man. No, I think we talked about it earlier too. We got to move off of Drummond. Not move off of him, but like find something else. I hear Nick Richards is getting shopped in Charlotte. I would love that. KJ Martin's been playing pretty good. Like I'm not even. I hate.
He's
KJ
been
Martin.
out of his. He's been out of this
You want to
world.
get rid of that though, right?
I'm the biggest KJ Martin hater probably alive, and he's shut. Like I don't even know what to say. He's been unreal. I don't even know what to say. He looks like a guy that maybe should have been playing in that playoff series.
Yeah, I can't stand him. But the last couple games, you're like.
Talk to me like I don't know who he is. What is this Herb Jones love affair?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. I would have been pissed if I forgot about that.
I see it going around. I see it going around Twitter all the time. And to be honest with you, now full disclosure, I don't watch a ton of games, right? So, but I looked at the stats; they don't blow me away.
No, he's good because he wouldn't require having the basketball. So I think a lot of Sixers fans like kind of run at that idea of like we need that. When like to me, like you want to give up all these kinds of assets like Oubre and like Caleb Martin.
Yeah.
My thing, and on top of it, picks. Maybe he's better than one of those guys right now, but I'm not giving up pieces of my future for that. Like that's where I draw the line. I can't do that. He's not that good, and I'm not shitting on him. He's going to get traded to a contender and contribute, but not to a level where what is our record? Like we're 6-7 games below 500 right now, where I'm selling myself on Herb Jones. It's just not
7-15.
I'm glad you brought up Oubre though, because that was the first game. I was going back and forth. I was like mainly on the Sixers because the Eagles, to me, if they lost, I didn't want to watch it, and they better win. So I was back and forth, but I was mainly Sixers just because it was the first time all year. Took us to December where they played the whole game. Maxey, George, and Embiid. But Oubre looked amazing. Like that's his role. Like he had 12 and 10. He had a double-double, 3 steals. Like that's his role. He was cutting to the basket. He was catching lobs. That's something as a team we don't do. We don't throw lobs. Every team throws lobs. We don't do it. But Oubre is a guy who'll catch them. That's a great point. Yeah, Maxey's more.
We don't have a traditional point. I mean, I love Maxey. I'm not like trying to shit in his game, but that's not.
No, but you're right.
That's not what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that was part of his critique coming out of school was he would love the floater and kind of fall in love with the step back 3, but he would never throw lobs.
I'm glad you brought the floater up. That's the floater is non-existent this year.
Right. They took it completely out of his game because, I mean, the NBA is such a contact league. Part of me thinks they're just create the contact and go to the line.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think that was such like a.
But I'm with you though. That was probably the strongest part of his game coming into the league for sure. Remember they said he couldn't shoot?
But yeah, I can't believe we live in a world now where for 2 months I wanted KJ Martin gone. and now all of a sudden it's like, do you trade him? I still wouldn't a
Right.
heartbeat. Like a guy like KJ Martin, I would give up for Herb Jones, but like you said, I'm not giving up a ton of assets and going.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the mocks that you saw out there was KJ,
Right.
Lowry, or it was Gordon and Jackson just to fill the contracts.
Oh, that I would do. I would do that.
I'd do that.
But then it was 3 picks, including
Like
I'm
I'm
like, what are we doing? Like, that's why I said, who is this guy? Because I have no idea who he is and why he's worth 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
It's just crazy, dude. Embiid is the weirdest player in the NBA. He really is. He came out, he had 31 and 12, and it's like he looked terrible. Like just like 3 weeks ago, he looked awful, and all of a sudden he comes back and he sucks you back in, and then he'll just spit you back out. It's just crazy. But what's also crazy is they better all play this next game, because if I'm right, they don't play till Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played Sunday and they don't play again till Friday. You're getting 6 days or 5 days off. Like they better all play. There better be nobody out. Like that's a crazy schedule.
They got like a bonus almost for missing the rounds of the the tournament. Right? They got like you get a week off, and then you play an extra game against a lesser opponent. It's like they got rewarded for sucking ass.
Exactly.
I'm actually happy. That would suck if all they got out of this whole process was a tournament championship, a tournament cup. It'd be a disgrace. I hope they never even dance in that thing.
I'd pretend to be excited.
No, I could care less about the stupid tournament thing. That's just business. They're putting asses in seats.
Well,
I'm with you though with the KJ Martin thing.
Isn't that weird, Luke? Like we went to a thing where it's like I could care less about this guy.
In fact, honestly, I would probably trade him sooner rather than later. After what's been going on right now. Yeah, sell high. I think you can go out there and buy on, like all of a sudden, if you call Brooklyn, all of a sudden that name is way more enticing for somebody like Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't think we can afford Cam Johnson, so he's kind of out of the question.
Bringing Jimmy back?
Oh, that's impossible.
It's impossible.
I wish too.
But it is funny. Like
would you
the reason I don't.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Shit. Holy shit.
What?
What is that?
Fucking contact got fucking stuck in my eye somewhere.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
It was a fucking battle. It was a fucking rough house. It's unbelievable. It's a Wednesday night.
I thought it was a tooth.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
I was like, what the hell
would
is
be a
that?
surprise at this point in my career. You know what I mean? What was it? Fucking Royal Rumble. Jesus Christ! I thought I was like, all right, here we go, another hospital visit on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? I think I'm going back to the ER. Hey, what happened to you, Tom? I don't know. My contact's in my fucking brain. Can we just let it sit? Is it cool?
Swimming around somewhere in my brain.
Yeah, we'll just dissolve. Like, how does this work? You know what I mean? Just give me some information. You know what I mean? 20 years from now, they'd be like, yeah, you got a hole in your brain from a contact. You know what I mean? Oh, fucking unbelievable. Tighten up, Tom. Steve, you tighten your life up, all right? You start coming in here. Listen, they suck me right back in, okay? Because they got when those three guys play, it's exciting, and they're better. And like I said, they're even better when it's just Maxey and George too. When Embiid doesn't play, like they're significantly better. So, I'm not saying they're going to beat the really good teams like that, but they can compete. So you get enough Joe down the stretch, hopefully, and I can't breathe now because I was up in my eye. You know what I mean? I'm up in my eye now. I just fucking woke up everything up there. You know what I mean? So let everybody up there. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But I'm back, baby. It's playoff team. Giddy up.
I still would trade KJ Martin. The reason I don't like KJ Martin, he's 6'6" and he plays the 4. He's just undersized. That's always bothered me because
positionless basketball, Mike.
Yeah, but like you could play.
Yeah, but it's different when you're 6'6" and you can't shoot. It's a little different.
Yeah, when you can't shoot, like when you're shooting 50% from the free throw line, and God knows what he shoots from 3. and he can't do anything off the dribble. Like, really, he's just good at cutting, sprinting to the basket. He can jump high. Like, he jumps high and he hustles. That's really his two attributes.
Like,
So,
playing
like,
next to Luka Doncic, that's like a very valuable skill set. But like, where our team, we need athletes, but we don't need 6'6" guys who can't shoot. We can't afford that. The spacing on our team is already lackluster.
trash. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Mavs, when they play, there's like 8 feet of space between everybody on the court. It's insane. Like the Celtics, those are the best teams in the NBA. The Thunder, all those teams.
yeah, it's 5-out basketball. That's what every team plays. It's just 5
out, but you can have a guy like Hartenstein in the game or a guy like Lively who can't shoot. But when you have Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like you're forced to spread the floor defense. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Don said, do you think Jimmy Butler will get traded? Yes. Because he has a $51 million option next year, and he's going to opt out. So he'll be a free agent next year, which means Miami gets nothing for him if he opts to do that. So that's why they're shopping him now, so they can get assets for him. Even if it's not the greatest package ever, they're getting assets compared to him just walking next year and then attaining nothing.
I see him in a Warriors jersey, and I want to see it.
Eligible to be traded on Sunday.
I'm down.
You guys trading Paul George for Jimmy?
Not that it would ever happen, but I would do it in 2 minutes. I was not shy about that this summer either.
I would do it too. It just sucks that your sample size is so small. They really played one game together.
I mean, it would never happen, but I would do it in 2 minutes. I would do it in 2 minutes. Easily. No doubt. I think he's going to be a Warrior, though.
I can see that for sure.
Jimmy?
They need him.
They just lost
watch
the
that
Rockets.
game tonight. That was a tough one. I mean,
they lose the Rockets?
Second guy to get a bucket.
I won.
Yeah.
That
And then guess what? Kuminga's going to go to the Heat and become the next Giannis or something.
Kuminga's good.
Yeah, it's going to be something insane. And we're going to have to deal with it for the next 10 years. That's just how it works.
But yeah, this is what they do. They pull you back in every year somehow, some way, and they spit you back out. Last year was the opposite, right? Last year we were like the best team in basketball, and B goes down, and then we just fell all the way down the standings. This year we're starting from the bottom. We're going to crawl our way out of the abyss, and they're going to spit you right back out. So really, that's the problem with this team now is you're just at the point where it's like, get me to the playoffs, and then we can talk. Get me past the second round, and then we can talk. That's the thing. It's like everything up until it doesn't even matter. And that's the problem with where we're at. Like, not everyone's pulled back in yet, but I'm telling you, when they win 10, 12 in a row, you're going to be like, oh, my goodness, like this team looks amazing if Joel Embiid stays healthy. It'll always be that if. So it's just fast forward and get me there.
Yeah, and it's like, when you just want to get there healthy, you obviously want to get there first and foremost, right? And they still got to dig out a little bit here, right? But you want to get there first and foremost, but then you want to get there healthy. Like if you just get there healthy, then I would like to see what happens, right?
I was gonna. It's funny you say that because I was gonna say, a lot of people say like the season starts over Christmas, and I think because they've been so bad, people are forgetting they have a game on Christmas, and I will apply this for the first time in my Sixers fandom because I'm a junkie and I'll watch all the games. The season starts on Christmas. So you ask like, will he be healthy to get him there? I'm worried. Will he be healthy in 13 days? That's my concern. Because you just don't know with this guy. But if he's healthy on that day, and I looked before we got on, we're 8.5-point dogs in Boston on Christmas Day. If he plays in that game, and they even make it competitive with those three guys, it would just send a statement, more importantly, to the entire city. Just like, at least try to come back with us. Like, we've got the guys here when they all play together. It would give you something to buy back into. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is he going to be healthy on Christmas Day, which is in 13 days?
Yeah, I think we need a playmaking point guard off the bench. You need a true point guard like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And you need a center that's not named Andre Drummond. Love the guy to death. But we all wanted him. I was one of them too. But he just hasn't panned out. So I just think you need
I think they just need to stretch big.
Yeah.
No one that's even like that good that has to play 30 minutes a night but someone in a playoff game who could spot you like 18, and he'll at least be a threat to shoot the ball and not be a total liability on defense. That's just what this team's been missing for years. They had it with like the last guy they had like that was like Dario, which is so long ago. And Tobias was that when he first got here. That was it.
Oh, good old Toby.
Good old Tobe.
Good old Tobe.
All right, boys. Great show. Got anything else before we get out of here?
Maxey got his first triple-double. Not that it
Yeah.
matters, but
It matters because it's a win. You know what I mean?
sprinkling that in, you know.
It always matters because it's a win. Didn't shoot the ball great the other night either.
No.
He has not been good, really, but it's a different conversation.
Yeah, we'll save it. It's early, right? But
And I think it's tough for him too, right? Like just
totally
again being in and out. Not only him being in and out of the lineup, but like not knowing who's playing every day. You're going to the arena. You know what I mean? It's like we always say with baseball lineups, where the manager wants to juggle at every game.
Yeah.
Right. You got to figure. These guys are
right.
trained to be in routines, and yeah, I mean he's playing with a G League team one night, and then he's playing with, two top 25 superstars.
How about the people who want to fire the coach too? Like, who's he drawing sets for in practice? He has no freaking idea.
Yeah, but as far as Maxey, I'm just talking about like shooting. Like I could have a chicken parm pizza for dinner, or I could have apples for dinner. Is the ball going in the basket?
What is it that way?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't care if he's playing with freaking Jackie Moon out there. Is the shot going in? It hasn't gone in.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I agree. Right. I mean, Muggy Buckets is talking about buckets. Like it's hard not to agree. I agree. I mean, he hasn't shot the ball like he has in the past, but again, it's early in terms of that type of production. Like you can clean your life up real quick. Yeah. You go a 10-game run, you shoot the shit out. You shoot the shit out of the ball. You shoot the lights out. You can change that real fast. So
you're back.
And you can change it real fast by winning 12 out of 14. Yeah, winning 20 out of 23, 20 out of 22. There's easy ways. Not easy ways. Maybe 20 out of 24. Right? Like let's not get crazy, Tom. Right? But there's ways to go 8-2 and 10. Go 8-2 and 10. Right? And you do that. You do that twice, you're right back in the mix.
Well, I'd like this question a lot from Don. Don said, question of the year, because the year's about to end.
I was thinking, I don't know.
Best moment in Philly sports this year?
AJ Sander passing game.
Yeah.
I was going to say probably signing Saquon, because everyone –
backwards leap.
But, you could go – either way with that, because the defense, the two picks with the defense, they're going to be here forever.
Zach Baum being defensive rookie or player of the year.
Yeah, my answer is Howie Roseman. To that,
make it $1.5 million.
Yeah, my answer is Howie Roseman. That's the best moment in Philly sports this year. His offseason.
It's an interesting one. So it wasn't Mishkov coming up.
Oh, how are you going, Greg?
Yeah.
You going Mitchie Pill? All right.
Because Mitchie Pill has been awesome.
Dude, he's the Luka Doncic of hockey. I feel like that guy is so slow. I've never turned on the game and been like, wow, he blows you away with speed. Like he just knows where space is. Like he's just crafty. He gets to space. He's just like he moves at his own pace. Like he's just not fast. Like you watch some guys, they just fly.
Yeah,
he's so methodical.
Like McJesus.
Yeah, he's so methodical.
Yeah.
My moment of the year is and this is where I got the poster about my dad, which is cool. My moment of the year is probably the USA-Serbia game. That was awesome. And it was honestly, it was the only thing that as a Philly sports fan, I felt like we've won something. Because they wouldn't have won that without him. And he was getting all that shit the whole tournament, and then everyone had to admit that, like, yeah, we would have lost if we didn't have him on the team. It felt pretty good.
Yeah,
And
and
the
it was
Eagles
against
haven't won
Joker.
anything yet, so yeah. I mean, I
never
love
beats them.
Saquon. Yeah,
Never beats them.
it never beats them.
That's a great one. I'll go to leap. I'll go to backwards leap.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Mike brought it up, but I was going to go Mitchie. I had some other ones, but I'll go because that moment's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that you can't even do that. Like
That's stupid.
Like I can't even do it right now over like a bag. Lay a bag on the ground. Just trying. I mean, I probably can't, but definitely can't. But I get what I mean. We're going here. You get where I'm going. So thanks, Don. Keep us up later.
Yeah.
All right. It's been HED Wednesday night.
2 more hours. 2 more hours. Surprised you didn't bring up James Franklin.
Everybody's goddamn name.
Ooh, we got next week to talk James Franklin.
We do. We got
plenty of time. Plenty of time. Next week we'll have some more Sixers. Brian Pumper, we appreciate the 3 super chats, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Appreciate you, brother.
You're the best, even when you're wrong. You know what I mean? You know everybody's name if you're watching us. So we'll see you next Wednesday night. Love you all. Be safe. Go Birds. Go Flyers. Go Sixers. Giddy up. Let's have a week.